Welcome everyone to the Pantheon. I am Ray.
I'm Evy.
And today we have, actually, Evy, what do we have today?
We have Falcon and the Snowman. No, I'm just kidding.
Which was a very scary show. Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That's right. It stars Anthony Mackie, and Sebastian Stan, and Baron Zemo, and that's Daniel Bruhler. That's how you pronounce his name?
So.
Yeah. We don't get that character right away, but we're just going to be looking at the first two episodes, and that is awesome. So, it's first I'm going to say, before we get into a quick overview, this is like, when I watched this is like watching an actual movie in the theater. Like the way it was captured, like the action and the story, like this is like top tier, like real good, high quality. Like,
it was well done. Yeah.
They give us the rundown of the first two episodes.
Okay. I think after the end game, all of the superheroes, good and bad.
Yeah, they came back. I think I was told. I think it's like 3 weeks after the events of the end game it takes place, or 3 months. 3 weeks to 3 months, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But like they didn't have anything else to do, so they just ended up getting hired by, I think, the government, or like all around the world. So they actually were doing bad things, I guess, hired by people in order to get jobs done.
You mean like mercenaries?
Yeah, mercenaries. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, mercenaries. And they were doing crazy things. Whoever it was for doesn't. Well, that's what I got from it.
Okay, all right. Well, let's break it down. Let's go to this. Let's do it one episode at a time. So, episode 1 starts off with a giant air. Okay, actually, I will say this. I think every episode will have one major giant stunt or action sequence. And the action sequence was right at the start of this one, and that's with Falcon, and it's on a plane, and they're trying to save or recover this guy who's kidnapped by is it Beltrog? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah,
the Leaper, played by GSP.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So it was good. I mean, you could tell George St. Pierre improved his acting skills. He really got into the role, and we haven't seen him since Winter Soldier. So it's a nice pickup. So just to give a breakdown of what we're seeing, I think they're near Iranian airspace, so we've got to get into the plane, retrieve this guy who's been kidnapped. I think it's a military leader, and then so he's trying to go in. So because Falcon can go in and out of things because he's such a small with wings, he could fly into a helicopter or fly into the side of a plane, and so he's battling, I think, Baltrog and his men as they're trying to kidnap this high-ranking official, and you haven't. There's great dog fighting aerial fights because they have because they have this, what do you call those fight suits where there's they're gliding, it's like a glider suits.
I don't know. Do
you know what I'm talking about? He had maybe X amount of minutes to get before the plane reaches the Iranian airspace to retrieve it, because if he doesn't get this guy before it crosses over, Baltrog and his men have won, and they would, and because he can't. It was a nail biting, on your edge type sequence, and it was a really intense aerial battle.
Really well done.
Yeah, and what I like about the first episode was that you could tell after the blip, when everyone came back, because Tony Stark was no longer there. The Avengers was no more. And you were saying they're mercenaries, or they're taking they have to find money some other way, right?
Okay, yeah, that's where I got that idea from.
So when he came back, because both Bucky and Falcon, actually in the first episode, they don't meet up at all. So they're never together in the first episode.
Right.
It's in the second episode. But you find out he went back home to, I think, Georgia or wherever it is, and because the Avengers doesn't pay, he's a former Avengers. He's broke, he comes back broke, and he loses his mother's property or land, and he's struggling with his family. So he's got to take these American jobs or these mercenary jobs to make ends meet.
Yeah, exactly.
and Bucky is in therapy.
Yeah, he is.
Bucky has some serious issues.
I think, yeah, for sure.
Because he's he remembers everything he's done as Winter Soldier, and it's weighing heavy on him. And then he's made one of his best friends because he's 108 years old, so he's friends with this elderly man, and this man, his Asian man, he's friends with. He killed his son,
Yeah.
And he can't bring himself to tell him that it was him who killed his son. And Bucky, he's dealing with remorse, like of guilt of what he's done in the past, and can't bring himself to admit, like tell the person, he's killed the son of this man who he's friended, he's conflicted by it.
Sure.
And he's living, and one of the things coming out of the Winter Soldier program is that he remembers every person he's killed. And, and he has to live with that. There's something he can do. So it's the first episode was very, very, it was hard. It was a hard pill. It really bounces like there was consequences from doing the blip, the bring everybody back from the snap.
Yeah.
And then how they move forward.
Right. Exactly.
There's a lot of chaos. In the second episode, it ends off the cliffhanger. Because one of the final sequences that we saw in Endgame was that Steve gives Falcon the shield. See, don't know why Falcon gave up the shield back to the U.S. government, but he brought it back to the museum as a way to token of to make sure that Steve Rogers was remembered.
Right.
I guess let's say the Smithsonian that the shield was brought into, but because I think there's chaos. The American government took the shield back and gave it to a new Captain America,
right?
John Walker, right? And then so they gave the shield to a normal person who is a highly skilled soldier, not a super soldier, to form as a symbol to Americans that since we are in chaos, we still need heroes, and so against the wishes or knowledge of both Bucky or Sam. The shield was taken out of the Smithsonian and given to this guy.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that? Like, what's your opinion? Because they go to therapy at one point.
Yeah.
Both Bucky and Sam. So what were your thoughts on that one?
Well, I guess well, if somebody is really messed up and just needs like to work stuff out, I think that's the first time that I've seen something like that involving Superman or whoever, right?
Right.
I think that's a good idea because like you don't wanna have future problems, so you have to work things out, like Superman and Batman, how they don't like each other.
Right.
So it's good that they're just trying to work things out rather than push things down, and because like they might just go off one day. So I think that's good.
I will also say, just to add on to that, just to tell you how complicated it actually is that there's a point where they just to go back a little further, because they're trying to we get some new villains in the first one. They're called the Flag Smashers.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Never heard of that.
They wear a mask, and then one guy's a super enhanced person.
Okay.
Right. So because they're enhanced, Falcon, tells Bucky, we have this guy who is international terrorist. Now, the Flag Smasher in the comic books, for those who don't know, was a guy who believed it was anti-nationalism. He believed there shouldn't be countries. There should be one, like we should be one country rather than having one, unifying the world.
Right.
So he didn't smash flags. He just believed there should be, like, rather than having borders, there should be like one nation.
Right. Okay.
No one's bigger than anyone else. So in terms of, there was nobility in the idea, but like he was sort of like a terrorist version of doing to get that way. So anyways, these guys who are super enhanced, they have a version of the super soldier serum in them, like some sort of like additive or hybrid. So seeing this, but because it's the second episode, the big episode, that one is on a couple of trucks.
Yeah.
And you have the new Captain America with Bucky and Falcon, and Battlestar, which is like the Falcon for the new Captain America.
Okay.
And they're battling what do you call this? The Flag Smashers on these trucks, these two semi trucks that are running parallel back and forth.
Yeah.
So
wow. Yeah.
That was a really cool, like really, like you could tell that that's a lot of stunt work. That's like a high end stunt work. And so after getting their butts handed to them, so to speak, Bucky realizes, okay, there's somebody he knows who we can go to who might shed some light on this, and that's when we meet Isaiah Bradley.
Right. Yeah.
Played by Carl Lumbly. Now, Carl Lumbly, you know him. He's the voice for Martian Manhunter in the Justice League Unlimited series, the cartoon series, and you know him from a show called Mantis back in the day, like a superhero show.
Yeah.
So he plays Isaiah Bradley. He was the first. He was the first Black Captain America. And there was an actual comic book in 2003 called Red, Blue, and Black. It's called Truth, and they experimented on black men before Captain America or after Captain America was under the ice. They tried to recreate it. They had it was a 3-part series, and basically they found like there was a German scientist who defected from Hydra, but he was racist, so he would only experiment on black people.
Oh, okay.
And then so all the trials that they used, many of the Black test subjects died, like almost within seconds or minutes of taking the injection. Only 5 people survived the injection, and Isaiah Bradley was one of 5.
Right. Okay.
And then what happened was they sent them these 5. Well, they killed the 4. In an ambush, but they sent Isaiah Bradley by himself to go to Germany to kill off or to stop the super soldier serum program in Hydra in Germany, which he's able to do. So it was a 3-part series, and then as a result, when he came back, he was incarcerated for 30 years. So and they erased all records of him, and so it was a really sad kind of thing how they treated blacks in the day, even though he was a hero. So in this version, we meet Isaiah Bradley, and we find out that Bradley fought Winter Soldier in the Korean War, and nearly won. And he has an additive version of the super soldier serum in his blood. So it's a good and then he was saying in the discussion that over the years while in prison, they stuck needles in him and took his blood over the years. And so what we're watching is probably an additive version of his blood being synthesized and given to these soldiers as the Flag Smashers. Okay. So
thanks for.
Yeah, so that's what we're seeing, because they don't really tell you that much, because you have to know the character and where he came from. But I'm just giving you some little background. So that was kind of interesting how they do that. And also, for those who are really want to know, is that his grandson becomes one of the Young Avengers.
Okay.
He's like a Captain America in the future.
Okay.
Right. Cool. I think it's called the Patriot, Young Patriot. What happened was, I think he gives a blood transfusion, kind of like with She-Hulk and Hulk.
Okay.
You know how She-Hulk got her powers is when Banner gave a blood transfusion to her.
Yeah.
To his cousin, and then she became She-Hulk. Isaiah Bradley gave a blood transfusion to his grandson, and he became, I believe the character was the Young Patriot. And so we'll be reviewing the next Avengers very soon, you and I. So that is one of the heroes you will see in the next generation of superheroes.
Okay. Cool.
So that's where it comes from. So that's I think when you get to like down the road in terms of like Phase 5 and the Avengers, they're going to come with the Young Avengers as the next team that comes down the road. Cool. That's my theory. I could be wrong.
Hey, we'll see.
But if they're smart, I think Marvel is like really smart by setting these little hints and little backstories to set the stage for what's coming like years down the road, because they're notorious for doing like 10 years plan.
Cool. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So overall, I really enjoyed. I love the stunts. I thought it was phenomenal. It ends off with them meeting Baron Zemo. So what's your thoughts about that? Because the last time we saw Zemo was with Civil War.
Well, I was surprised, but we'll see what's gonna happen, you know. Yeah, but yeah, I liked how they meant how they how they allowed those two like to meet and excited about what'll happen, you know. And yeah, with the whole gang too, you know. See what happens, you know, because there's going to be a meeting or something, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, I can't wait.
Right, because you watched Civil War not too long ago, correct? Like
Yeah,
personally, so you know, like when like the reason why the Captain America and
Falcon.
no, Captain America and Tony went to go after Baron Zemo is because he was going to unleash some new super soldiers in the Arctic, right?
You're right, right.
You know,
Okay.
and then what happens when he gets there? It's something else. I won't. We'll talk about that when we do Civil War, or you can watch a Civil War review of that. But like Zemo knew of super soldiers that the Hydra was working on.
Right.
Right. So so in terms of the reason why they're going to see Zemo is because he'd be the only person who knows because they believe that Hydra is behind the Flag Smashers.
Right.
The only lead they have is Zemo. He's been incarcerated. I guess let's say it's been 5 years for the blip, and since the events of the Civil War, it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
Because there's a line he says to Bucky, what's his face? The Anthony Mackie's character, Falcon, says to Winter Soldier that he's been on the run for 2 years with Agent 13 after the events of Civil War. So that's like 7 years total.
Wow.
That's me paying attention to the details. But but I think that's really cool. I think the way they set up how they connect it with the MCU as a bigger picture and keep everything fluid. I think that's really smart. And just for those who like follow the movies very carefully, you're given little bonuses and gifts to appreciate to go with this.
Yeah.
So it's big. It's part of a bigger tapestry.
We'll go from there and see, man. Yeah, can't wait.
All right. So where can they reach us, Evie?
We can go to Twitter, email, or even on our website.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Right. Well, with that, I am Ray.
And I'm Evie.
We'll talk to you later.
Okay.